Hey Darren, what's up? Okay, so about the pattern banks, you can store 128 patterns. It's for each MIDI key, basically. Um, the banks are something that I changed around when beta testing. Originally, there was just a number box that was, 0 through 127, but it was hard to dial in. Some people complained, so I came up with this. Um, There's 16 banks, and each bank can hold 8 patterns. So I'm in bank one. If I make some random patterns, whatever, doesn't matter. I can recall them later for. So yeah. And then if I go to bank two, I have 8 blank patterns. Um, this is something that is totally changeable too. The banks are split up as part of the user interface because like the internal guts of FreakSeek actually just take integers 0 through 127. So I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. In case you want to mess around with it, I'll show you how it works. I can also do a demo of changing the patterns with MIDI, which is why uh, it goes on numbers 0 through 127. So I just give it a sec to load. It's a big patch. So if we come into the sequencer pattern window, it's right here at the top. Yeah, it just makes a list of the two values and then sums them together and subtracts them. But you'll see what's going on there is it's actually just values 0 through 127. This is bank 1, 0 through 7, bank 2, 8 through 15, bank 3, 16 through 23, bank 4, etc., etc. And you could actually just make a live.num box if you wanted to replace this to check it out. Just connect it right there to this trigger integer bank, and it will actually control it. And you'll just have 0 through 127, and you could get rid of all this gunk up here. And what happens is it takes the value 0 through 127, prepends it with pattern, because I kind of have this little API going on for, all the messages get prepended with stuff. So it prepends it with pattern, spits it out of the outlet. So then we come sequencer, goes to the main sequencer window, which is right here. And here we go, route. It's none of these, so it comes out here. Route pattern. And then the pattern gets routed to this gen. And what this gen does is it basically just swaps out a buffer read index because all of the patterns are stored in a buffer. I can show you that in a sec. It's actually pretty cool because it makes the recall really fast. And then, yeah, it just goes straight there. That's the only spot that it goes. And the way the buffer works is it's a 7-channel buffer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One for each of the sequencer rows. And so if I make edits to one of the patterns, which one are we on? We're somewhere in the middle of the buffer right now. So if I make edits to the pattern, you'll see it actually store it in the buffer. Yeah, or here I'll go from top to bottom. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and it's kind of right there. Like this is the the lower patterns are the beginning of the buffer, and the higher patterns are the end of the buffer. And that makes recall, I found, really, really quick because you don't have to mess around with. It's like at signal rate, so it's a pretty cool trick. It's just like zeros or ones, basically in the buffer for the patterns. So yeah, that's how it's supposed to work. Um, if this user interface with like the banks and then the 1 through 8 is dumb, then I mean you can always try the 0 through 127 box. I'm cool with that too. And if you want to, you take the MIDI send device, and we're gonna send on channel 1. We're gonna send notes, and then we're going to come back to Freakseek, and we're going to go MIDI receive channel 1, and we're going to receive notes. And so yeah, check it out. I'll make a clip. So this would be MIDI note 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this clip is going to basically go from the first pattern to the 15th pattern over and over and over again when I launch it. Let's see if it works. Yeah, check it out. So that's why it's numbers. That's why there's 127, is because they correspond to MIDI notes. I hope that made sense. And if I change this to program, it'll stop receiving the notes, and it'll only receive program change messages. So yeah, I guess I could explain that further if you like. But yeah. So that's how the banks work. If you think it's more intuitive to just have like the recall 0 through 127, that's cool. Just a couple people complained that like when they were twisting it, it was hard to like lock in on the one specific pattern they wanted using the mouse, or I think they had it MIDI mapped actually. But yeah, so hopefully that answers your question. If it doesn't, just let me know.